Hello, everyone. This is Dan Gramza, and welcome to dangramza.com Market Studies for Monday, August 10th. What you're looking at is a daily chart of the S&P 500. The concept is a swing trade, which means you're trying to capture some of the volatility in these markets. A green line means it's a buy level, and a sell is the red line. If it's a dashed line like this, that means it's something that happened previously in the week. Same thing with that sell line. But you see up here the solid lines, which means those are active. So an active buy level, active sell level. And again, these are here just as a reference. They're not buy and sell recommendations. Now, just to give you a feel for what this represents, the dollar difference from this buy to that sell level in the S&P is $10,050 a contract. And what are we looking for here? Well, we see a market that potentially could go out the way it came in. That's a sign of continuation of a trend. It also gives us a commitment as we go into the weekend on the buy side. Very interesting and a sign of confidence. So we do look for follow through. Over here in the NASDAQ market, we're seeing that same type of close, a positive close in that market. So that's a healthy sign in that regard. And over in the NASDAQ market, the dollar difference buy to sell level there is $20,620 a contract. Follow through is what we're looking for. But remember, we've got situations over the weekend in the Middle East, for example, that can dramatically change these markets. Now, in the Dow, what we're looking at there, that difference here between the buy and sell level from here to there, again, just to provide you with the reference, is $7,150 a contract. The difference between that sell to buy level in Mr. Dow is $1,250 a contract. Buyers are here, but can they follow through on Monday? In the Russell, the small to mid cap stocks, we are seeing that commitment from these buyers. Follow through on Monday will be important, but don't look for a big day. Look for a small, unchanged to higher movement in this market. Dollar difference buy to sell level here, again, just to give you a reference, is $3,200 a contract. Dollar difference here, that buy to sell level is $400 a contract. When we look at the euro, that means the euro is getting stronger and the US dollar was weaker. The challenge here is this market has had a very poor record recently of giving us continuous follow through. So what are we looking for? I'm looking for an inside day to possibly higher in that market. And, we're seeing that in the Swissy, which is also interesting for that market. The dollar difference here is $587.50. Follow through is important. The next 3 trading days, are critical if we're going to see a trend continuing to the upside. And Japanese yen, what's so interesting about this market is that we've had intervention, and that's what we're seeing with Japan and the United States. Very powerful, and they're willing to support this, which I find incredibly interesting in this market. And if we look at the dollar difference here between the buy and sell level here, up from here to here, that's $2,550 a contract. When we look at the Aussie dollar, our friends in Australia are firming up as well. I think that's impressive, and they're holding on to it. I think that's impressive too, but can we get follow through? The dollar difference here is $230 a contract in that market. Dollar difference there, that buy and sell level is $400 a contract. Now, the British pound. Here we're seeing some follow through a market willing to hold on. Again, the next two trading days are very important. By Wednesday of this coming week, we want to be trading right back at these highs. That 35.50 is what we're looking for in that market. So interesting setup, bullish bias, so unchanged to higher. Check out our friends in Canada, a very strong close. Technically, that market is now in an uptrend, so we'd look for follow through in that market. The big deal is, can we get that dollar difference buy to sell level there, $140 a contract? When we look at what's going on in Bitcoin, here's a market that I'm looking for a sideways move in. This has got the characteristics of what I call a neutral zone trade, so I don't look for a strong move on Monday in that market, but rather an inside move. And the dollar difference here in this market is $375 a contract there, and also 1925, $1,925 a contract. 10-year notes traded above its buy level, but it also closed right back down in that market. A dollar difference, the buy to sell level in the 10-year notes is $656.25. Dollar difference here, that buy to sell level is $187.50. But it failed. Those buyers failed to have a strong close going into the weekend. We see the same thing in the Treasury bonds, a market that rallied but failed to hold on to it. So that means the yields got stronger in U.S. Treasuries. Dollar difference here is $250 a contract. Gold, excuse me, gold. Gold's continuing higher. Buyers are here as those yields change. Remember, watch the yields. That'll give you a clue. And here we do look for follow through, but not a dramatic move on Monday. Silver also up on Friday, but a little weaker on the close. We do look for follow through in that market. The dollar difference, this buy to sell level, is $10,650 a contract. Copper backed off, but demand is supposed to be here. And that's what we're supposed to be seeing from China, but they're just not showing up. And that's what's going on here in that market. Do we expect follow through? Well, dollar difference buy to sell level, $3,500 a contract, a small move to the downside. Buyers are still lurking around in that market. Crude oil really depends on what happens in the Middle East. The bias is for weaker prices in that market, and wouldn't be surprised to see it break a little bit lower. But that really hinges on what happens in the Middle East. Dollar difference sell to buy level, $3,070 a contract. Nat gas, we have a lot of nat gas. We have what I call an equal and opposite trade here. Buyers are here. Can they follow through? This is a 50-50 trade. Right now, it implies a sideways move in that market. Soybeans traded above its buy level. Excuse me, dollar difference, the sell to buy level in that market is $687.50. I look for a sideways move to continue. The same thing in corn. This difference, $400 a contract, and in wheat. An equal and opposite is potentially bullish. The Black Sea situation can quickly change what happens in this market. And right now I'm looking for a sideways move in that market. Dollar difference there, $350 a contract. Well, those are my thoughts for today. Thank you for joining me. Looking forward to being with you again. And as always, take care.